So good morning, happy Monday. Our team building discussion this morning is around traditions and melding. So in light of what Kendra went through this weekend, and perhaps you have all been through either in the past or currently or anticipate to go through, but what is the one tradition that is your non-negotiable? What is, if you could only pick one, what is your one tradition that you will carry forward into the rest of your relationships, either friend or biological family or chosen family relationship, but knowing that we are coming out of this holiday that celebrates gratitude and moving into another holiday season. What is that tradition that speaks to you, that is home to you, that you want to share and will not negotiate? Yeah.
I can go first.
Yes, please.
So mine is not, I don't know if it's a tradition. It's not a family, it's not like a holiday, but the tradition of dinner, family dinner. It doesn't have to be every night. It used to have to be every night, but it has to be on Sunday at least. And so I'm now requiring 3 times a week, but we definitely family dinner where we sit down and it's a really, really good dinner and everybody takes part in making dinner. Even with the hems and haws of teenagers that would rather play Fortnite. It's just important, and I will never ever let go of that. It's been really important in my own family before, as a child. And I think including friends in that is really important too.
Thank you.
I have one.
Yeah.
My all my family, like my immediate family, never really stuck to one thing for like Christmas or Hanukkah, and like most of the time, like it was really half-assed, to be honest. Not that I'm like complaining, but like my mom would like wrap up like something she already bought us and like give it to us, or like a library book, and like make us reopen it. Like just like those things, just my family never took seriously. But the one thing that always brings a tear to my eye is the Hava Nagila. Do you guys know what that is? That they do at weddings. It's a Jewish thing, and it's like when it's when at weddings and in bar mitzvahs too. Like everyone dances in a circle, and the immediate families like in the closest circle, and then like people just like make circles like around that, so like the biggest circle, and then you get lifted up in chairs. Like if you're when it's a wedding, you're both lifted up in chairs and you have a napkin and you're holding the napkin. And and it's the same song every time.
It's really happy.
It's really happy. Yeah, that song. And it just always, every time it happens for like a bar mitzvah or a wedding or something, like it really brings tears to my eyes. Like something about the melody, and like my whole family and all the men in the family are like holding you in a chair, and like they never come together and do that. Like they're not that nice, but in that moment they do it. And I always said to my cousin had a wedding and she did like the Hava Nagila happened, but like for like literally 30 seconds, and it made me say like, no, when I have a wedding, like this will happen for like, it will be like at least 10 minutes and everyone will be in a circle, everyone has to do it, and it just like, it makes me cry to think about. So it's like the only tradition thing that I care about, but it always just makes me cry because everyone comes together and holds you in a chair.
I love that. Thank you.
When we all get together as a team, we're going to hold you up. Kikori, have a
I was gonna say that my actual life has taught me that I don't have any non-negotiables, and that's a boundary issue I need to work with. I've negotiated away everything at one point or another. But one of my most favorite traditions, I mean, any tradition around cooking is really important to me. And specifically making Christmas cookies and decorating them together
Aw,
is a very important family tradition that we've always had.
nice.
And it comes from my, well, all of the grandmothers in my family have been bakers of one form or another. But my Ukrainian grandmother in particular used to make like a dozen different kinds of cookies. And they were
Wow, holy
all,
moly.
she would do a little business where she would sell them at church bazaars and stuff like that. But she
Mhm.
had, you know, about 10
That's
to 15
amazing.
different kinds of cookies that always had to be made. And they were just always like really unique, not the ones you normally see.
Cool.
We do a thing at my church called a cookie walk, and all of the women like bake all different types of cookies, and then there's just tables laden with cookies, and you have to like come early to church and pull a ticket, and then only so many people are allowed in at a time, and you buy, it's a fundraiser for our church, and you buy by the pound. And so there's this scale. And one time we bought a lot of cookies, and my dog jumped on the counter and ate them while we were watching a Christmas movie. And he's lucky to let him survive. Oh, we are so mad. I love eating other people's Christmas cookies. My tradition that is sort of a non-negotiable for me is a Christmas tree with blue lights. And I think I've said this before, but growing up, my on my mom's side of the family, they my great grandfather invented the first bulk milk dairy cooler. And so prior to that, everybody was putting milk in like the cans. And the company was called Dairy Cool, and it's spelled Kool. Before that was like,
God, that's so avant-garde.
yeah. And
Nice.
and so Dairy Cool Blue is like the old, if you think about the old like ceramic Christmas light, the blue that was Christmas lights. It was Dairy Cool Blue. And
Wow.
my mom was growing up, they always had blue lights, and she didn't like it. And then as an adult, she always had blue lights. And I hated it when I was a kid, and I begged for like multicolored lights or white lights. And my mom said, no, like Dairy Cool blue lights. And now I have blue lights. And like Noah knew this when we were dating, that this was like non-negotiable. And like a few years ago, he was like, okay, like it's been enough. Like we've been married for this long. Like, can we do like multicolored lights just 1 year? And I was like, nope. Not a choice. Sure, you can do that when you divorce me and leave, and when you buy your own house. And he was like, I just don't understand. And so for me, and this is something that I am trying to speak my truth, especially because my in-laws are living in my basement right now, is that the memories of my parents are finite, and my kids will never have memories with my parents as grandparents. And the one thing that I can hold on to is the lights on my Christmas tree. And so we went and got a Christmas tree, and you guys, it's so freaking huge. The big Christmas tree thing is like new. For me, we never had a big
Wow.
growing up, but I don't know. It's like 14 feet tall, and like it takes up our entire living room. And so I love this pagan tradition of like bringing the wilderness into my home. And I'm sure there's like tons of spiders and bugs stuff now in my living room, but it makes me really, really happy.
Do you like chop it down in your yard?
Uh, we went and chopped it down. Yes, it is a live tree. We
It's not anymore.
No, it is. We have this is the other thing.
It'll be compost.
My husband being who he is, we have a watering machine. He
have
comes
that
up with this
too.
like siphon situation so that we have like this huge Rubbermaid tub behind the tree, and it is constantly watering because our tree is so big and we can't keep up with it. But we also have like, it was like a $300 tree stand. It's huge so that the tree doesn't fall over.
Oh my God, so funny.
Yeah, and the watering machine has an alarm that'll start beeping if it gets low so that the tree doesn't die. And in the past, like our trees have like sprouted in January.
Wow, that's awesome.
What do you mean?
What?
Like they
Like
still
it's
budded
living.
out. They
Like
still
you could
bud out.
plant it outside, it's still thriving. It's still
Oh, roots
sprouting.
come out of the bottom.
But what
No,
about
like
the ground?
buds come out of the branches. Like it sprouts. Like it is not dead. It is
It's
very
still
much
growing.
living. Mhm.
Do you plant it?
No, we
Compost.
eventually light it on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's another fun tradition. Is that once it gets really dry and crinkly, like it my kids like that a lot. But
I
Mine-
have the tradition of finding Christmas tree needles in my socks in April and May, even though we vacuumed 9,000 times.
Aw.
My tradition is not really my tradition, it's my mom's tradition, but I was roped into it because my mom, in her little dementia mind, she still knows that Thanksgiving equals her pumpkin chiffon pie.
Oh,
There's no Thanksgiving without it.
wow.
And so on Wednesday, I had to make it for the first time by myself.
Ooh,
And
how'd it go?
I'm not a baker, but I can follow directions. And so I did it. And I got to the key part where you had to whip the egg whites, make them into these stiff peaks. And then you got to fold the egg whites into the squash mixture. And my sister said, "Oh, I have a hand mixer." I said, "Okay, great." She got it out, but there were no beaters. And I said, one would think that you would keep the beaters and the hand mixer together, but no. So we had an hour scavenger hunt.
Oh my God.
We maintained it, and we did not find them. So on Wednesday, before Thanksgiving, I went to 5 stores and no beaters, no hand mixers. I had to call my friends with an emergency call. "Do you have a hand mixer?" I got the hand mixer, and I made the pie.
Nice
And
job.
all was well. And my mom, she gave it like the 2 thumbs up on Thursday, and she loved it.
Aw,
The tradition continues.
aw, that's nice. Now you have the beaters for next year.
Now we got to that.
Oh my gosh.
This is
The beaters did not come with my hand mixer either. It's my new home.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that really?
I was like, you would think they'd be in the box. I have no idea. So
so funny.
yeah, so same. We're pulling them out. I mean, morning glory muffins the other day.
mm.
And yes, with coconut flour, which is different than
Hmm.
regular flour.
Mm.
Okay, so I definitely have connections to like so many of your traditions. And yeah, I was thinking about like, I feel like we used to have like a Hanukkah bush where we'd like put some lights on and put a little something. But I think that what I'm, the, yeah, I think Nikki, I also negotiated on a lot of the things that I cared about. And I guess one of the things I'm most excited is that Julian's like really excited to get a Christmas tree. And so I used to, and we always had one, right? Like growing up, and we'd pull out like all the boxes of decorations and we'd go and like decorate the house. And it was a whole thing. And I haven't done that the past like, I don't know, 10 years. So he's like, yeah, he's like, are we gonna decorate? And he said, I was like, it's like we can go to TJ Maxx, but then he's like, oh yeah, no, there's an outlet that's full of stuff. And so I'm like, we can spend $100 and pick out whatever we want. And we're gonna get a Christmas tree across. I was like, yeah, you can go on like sled rides and you can go get one. He's like, it's right across the street. We'll just go get it. Like that's a great start. So but I think that's what I'm most excited about, is to restart and to have that be a part of our lives, because that was always my favorite thing. So yeah, so that's what I'm excited about.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, I mean, Bryn, say it aloud.
Is that allowed? I feel like I didn't adhere to the holiday tradition piece. And I would be remiss if I didn't make sure to mention the very thick and important Swedish holiday traditions in my family, which are Christmas. It's all about Christmas. And so I do carry forward a lot of the Swedish Christmas, which is Swedish ham and smorgasbord and all this like Swedish food on Christmas Eve. And I don't drink anything really but a little bit of wine. But on Christmas, even my dad, who wasn't allowed to drink in his older age, you drink aquavit, which is a really, it's really strong. Yeah, you drink that with beer. It's important. And everybody has to do it. I mean, except for those who don't drink. And it's really delicious actually with salty food, which is ham and smoked eel and things like that. Really like unusual. But anyway, that I will always carry forward too. And it happens on Christmas Eve evening.
With beer?
Like mixed together, like in the same
No,
glass?
you have a beer.
Okay.
There's a million glasses. The Swedes are really into it. It's like token. I haven't spent Christmas there, not actual Christmas. But yeah, you have like a big beer mug and then you have an aquavit glass and they go really well together. I know it sounds like it would be terrible, but with salty ham, it's absolutely great.
Like,
no,
like an Irish car bomb situation.
No, it's all separate. It's very delicious.
Very cool. Well, obviously, there's a bit of projecting in the reason that I chose this to be our discussion topic today. But it's just been something that I've been thinking a lot about, in that, we don't have any choice in the family that we were born into. And a lot of those traditions and rituals were sort of thrust upon us. We didn't have autonomy when we were small. However, they do become a large part of our identity. And as we go out into the world to find ourselves and choosing our next family and choosing our work family, I'd be remiss to think, that any of us ended up here without a fair amount of choice. I see each of you and know that you all are choosing to be here. And I think that that is very powerful. And I'm very honored to share this space with you. And when we choose to be here, we also choose what parts of ourselves to share and what to bring into the organization and what to carry forward. And much like holiday traditions and rituals, we all have different background, strengths, talents. And knowing that we are moving into the time of the year where the days get shorter and the nights get longer, and sometimes times feel darker, and that it's the end, not just of Q4 coming up, but the end of the year, and the pressure that puts on us, and then the pull of spending holidays with our families, or going to concerts and parent teacher conferences, and all of the other things that tend to be happening that will feel like distractions. I want to see us all as whole people, and our whole tradition, and that they aren't compartmentalized or separate. And how do we leverage that? How do we work together with that and use that as focused momentum moving forward, to sustain us and to create bonds between us and our clients, and just be our very, very, very best selves, in this season of gratitude, and tradition, knowing that there is also still a lot of work to be done. But I see you. I'm so thankful for you. And happy Monday.